Hello and welcome to BonkTable. I'm Mass, another Hog, Conquest, Neon, Genesis, Evangelion Battle Report. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, here's the list. I'm playing Hogwheel Skeletons. List probably subject to change, to be honest, because Carl and I still have to play the game for the naming of the list. But anyway, until he does that, we're going to play this. Oh yeah, just a side note for the wonderful listeners and viewers and whoever's watching this. I'm playing with Wadrhun. I'm playing Nords into Wadrhun, so we're mixing up a little bit. But Hogwheel Skeletons, we got the Vogni Lord, who's our warlord with the wild beasts. This is going to allow the half-blood regiments in his warband to charge through hindering and get their impacts. Woo! He also has the Call of the Hunt. What is when you select a regiment to arrive from reinforcement, automatically this round, choose another friendly half-blood. Thank goodness we have a lot of half-bloods. He is running 4 units of Gold or Beast Pack. I've kind of talked about this before. The whole point of this list is to get a bunch of cards in really quickly, to have a bunch of efficient MSUs. Gold or Beast Pack are one of those with Flurry and impact attacks and tramples. They get a lot of work out of them. They're going to be doing like 5 attacks each with Flurry. Their Clash 3 base will be doing 3 impacts with Brutal 1 and Line Breaker. Their Clash has Line Breaker. Their Trample, I believe, does not get Line Breaker. Sounds especially near the shield and bastion when performing a clash or duel or when resolving impacts. Yeah, so Trample will not have Line Breaker, but they're gonna be doing a ton of work. They have a good stat line at wounds 5, defense and resolve 3 with evasion 1. Pretty quick with speed 6. They're all around really solid unit. They do a lot of work. They get a lot of stuff out of them. And for the low cost of 160 point and a mainstay on the Vogni Lord. I don't know if anyone else, if they're restricted for anyone, like Blooded, are they restricted for you? They are restricted for the Blooded, but like, they're just insane. He gets a Mountain Jotnar. Cool. So you're going to be running 4 of those guys, because it's ridiculous. Vogni Lord is also just like a really good beat stick at Cleave 1 with 6 attacks on Clash 3. He does a lot of work himself. Next, we got the Blooded Warband. Blooded himself, he has the Redbringer. I believe this is a big stick or something. It's not the spear. I don't know what this is, but he's going to get +2 attacks, impact 2, and he's going to die, always die fighting, even if he's activated. I forgot about that. Maybe would have killed off 1 more regiment, but that is A-okay. You know, you got to play the game. But with that, Redbringer, he's going to get impact 2, but going to put him up to attack 7 with his base clash of 4 on his cleave 2, which is a really brutal offensive stat line. He's going to be sitting in a unit of Trolls. Trolls are really sweet, simply because they are wound 6 and they got regen 6, so against chip damage shooting, they're just going to come back. Fearsome and Oblivious. Fearsome is not fearless, so you don't care about that. Oblivious is going to kind of keep them around on the resolve. Their defense 2, evasion 1. Like, they're not really surviving like a dedicated hit, but because of their wound count of 6, they're going to, you know, sometimes they just live on a couple wounds, and you can rally them and like kind of heal them up progressively once you like win a fight. So you gotta wipe out Trolls or else they're gonna be a big problem. And their Clash 2 with Cleave 1, you get a little bit of work out of them every once in a while when they have 5 attack space. Like, they have like a pretty decent stat line. They're really solid and good all-rounders. They're great against shooting, and they're great just to get in the way. They're kind of like a big tar pit unit. You just run them as MSUs, and the Blooded just sits in one of these guys to like smack people. Then I got my 2 Stalkers. Stalkers, really fantastic. Barrage 4, range 16, flanking opportunists. They're volley 2. That's A-okay. With Barrage 4 and Volley 2, you have enough shots to actually start doing some good work into people. Because you're also ranged, you can start getting... It's easier for you to gain access to people's flanks, to get the opportunities for the rerolls on your attacks. So overall, this is going to be a really solid stat line for shooting. Flank is really nice because you're just going to have them on turn 1. No worries there. Lastly, we got the Shaman. He's got a Raider with Captain and a Bear Sharks with Savage. So how this list kind of plays is that the Shaman with Raiders is your auto in turn 1, and then you got your 2 Stalkers who have flank, so you get 4 cards turn 1. Turn 2, you're going to have Blooded and Trolls. You're going to have Vogni Lord and Goat or Beast Pack. Vogni Lord and Blooded both have the forward 4 special rules, so they're going to give flank to the regiment they're attached to. Then you're going to pick 2 units to just bring on with your Supremacy. You're going to get your auto 1, you're just going to pick Trolls, then you're going to bring on another Goater. Then you're going to roll 2 downs on turn 2 and see if you get your other 2 Goater. If you don't, it's okay. Because on turn 3, you're going to auto into Bear Sharks and get your 3rd Goater. And then on turn 4, you're going to get your last Goater, and it's going to be okay. So overall, by turn 3, you're going to have 12 cards. And turn 4, you're going to have the entire list on the table. And the only thing that's not going to be on the table is the Gold or Beast Pack. What you don't mind not having off, because it's just a really solid regiment. Like, can all round a lot of stuff. Easily picks up other MSUs. And yeah, Bear Sharks, just a little chat with them. They're really good offensively. You still don't want to get punched in the face with these guys. They're still defense 2, resolve 4 with 4 wounds. They just kind of die at times. Like Tenacious 1 is nice, but these guys are very much a scalpel. They're going to hit hard, do a bunch of damage, but they do not want to be hit. And losing stands of them early from like chip damage is something you don't want to have. Just kind of want to mention that. Alright, that's the list. Let's go into my opponent's Wadrhun list. Here's my opponent's Wadrhun list. He has called it Tribal Flush. It's running a Chieftain, a Queen, and a Scion. So the King, the Queen, and the Jack. Nice. We have a Chieftain Warlord. He's got the Concentrated Assault. What gonna give? Always after range of the Chieftain's Crushing Force. This covers the entire battlefield. Further, the Chieftain's attempt to affect all friendly infantry of the tribe. So what is that? Crushing Force. Friendly infantry within 10 of the character stand. Chant Battlecry gains +2 impact, so that's pretty good. And Tempo, friendly infantry, the tribes regiments, characters warband gain Vanguard 3. So I believe everyone is going to get Vanguard if they are the tribes. What is basically everyone except for the Chosen and the Apex Predator, the Warband's tribes, yes. So everyone gets Vanguard except for Chosen and the Apex, but that's A-okay. Chief, he's also running the Anal Beads of Death, so that's going to give Tenacious 1. You should be Tenacious after what happened to you. And he's going to be running Visions, which is going to give all the other character stands in the army forward force. So all 3 characters are going to be auto coming on. He is also going to be running, I don't know, 2 things of Veterans, 1 4-stand, 1 3-stand, as well as double MSU Slingers. Pretty solid warband. Veterans are going to be getting their Flurry because of the Chieftain, and Slingers are going to be getting just being slinging assholes. They're also going to be all under, was it Conquest? Yeah, I think it's Conquest. They're all going to be under Conquest simply because the Chieftain's under Conquest, so the Slingers can Conquest chant. It's fine. They can just shoot farther, really. Next, we got the Scion. He's got Roar of the Tribes. If you're under Conquest, and you Tier 2 chant Conquest, I think it's Tier 2 chant Conquest. Yeah, you Tier 2 chant Conquest, you get Blessed. This is really, really, really good. Oh, I'm missing. Here, hold on. There we go. I think it's another stand of Chosen Conquest. So, Scion of Conquest is 4 stands of Chosen of Conquest, which means they're 5 stands. They're going to be going up to, like, Resolve 5. It's going to be really mean. They're going to get Blessed because he's always got a Tier 2 chant with Conquest. Makes them really annoying. They threat really far with the triple activation because of if you chant with them. Their Cultists of Conquest ability triggers. So, yeah. It's a really solid regiment. You can kind of run up a flank and just free willy it. It's a bit expensive, but not too expensive. I think you got 410 points, so it's like getting close to a quarter of the list, but it's really solid just on a flank by its own. That Blessed like carries them so far. He's got double Braves, and then he's got the Matron Queen, who has the Apex Rider under Death. So the Warbred and the Apex are going to be under Death, so they can reroll their 6s when they chant that. Overall, not a bad list. He's got plenty of melee threats. Everything can score except for the Slingers. The Slingers are there to provide shooting support. He's got the Fault with the Apex. He's got hammers with both the Chosen of Conquest and the Warbred. His Veterans can hold and do some work, and his Braves can just get in the way and gum up stuff and be that little bit of chip damage at the end to finish things off and stay in the back end and score. Let's get into the scenario and table. Here's the table and scenario we played today. As you can see, we are playing Maelstrom, and we have our 3 circles. We have, I'll do it in like this gray. We got a hill right in the middle. Oh, that is hard to see. Let us fix that. We'll do this purple. We have this hill in the middle. We have, in green over here, we have a forest. Forest. Blue for water. 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 And then lastly in black are 2 buildings. There you go. Kind of how you want to play this scenario is you kind of want to take over just like 2/3 of the board and call it a day. You don't really care if your opponent, kind of like, you know, takes a zone. Just do it in, let's just do this orange. You don't care if they like take a zone or anything like that. You kind of just want to take over 2/3 and call it a day. You do kind of need the middle zone to score out, because if it's really tough, that I have found, is if you only control the 2 side zones, is that the problem is your opponent kind of like comes in the middle, takes the middle, and then like goes one way while fending you off and takes over the other zone, what pushes you out. But the other thing is you actually score more points if you're controlling the middle for the majority of the game. But you can win off the sides, but you really have to like score that out the entirety of the game. If you kind of start messing it up or like lose out on scoring, the middle one will just kind of outscore you. So be careful about that. That's kind of really all I got to say about Maelstrom. It's the most fundamental scenario of Conquest. It's I don't know, it's Conquest at its purest. Do that. Take over 2/3 of the board. That's it. Alright, let's get into turn 1. Here's turn 1. So, I get, you know, my 4 cards. You know, Shaman goes. He's like, oh, Shaman. My opponent runs up some slingers down the middle. Okay, not bad. Thing he's got to be aware about, though, is that there's this hill right here. So, that's going to be size 2, blocking line of sight. I drop a Stalker right in front of it so I don't get shot. Then he decides to, like, put his other slingers off to the side so he can kind of, like, I'll do it in purple, like, threat project this way. And he can threat project that way. So he's going to be putting a lot of force on those 2 zones. I don't mind right away, simply because I don't know where the rest of his stuff is going. I already know how I'm going to play this scenario. And I'm going to play it like Horns of the Bull, where I'm going to have stuff come and go this way, and I'm going to have a weak middle. So if he decides to collapse into the middle with his Stalkers, I'll come in and crush him. And if he wants to fight on my strong sides, I can kind of just reinforce the sides and then also bring the middle to the side that needs additional support. So I don't actually mind that position and how I play it. The only thing that I was kind of iffy on was the Raiders. I decided this side to be, like, I guess my strong side. I've kind of pre-measured and spaced stuff right here, so I can get a 3 stand and a 4 stand here to help support this. And I know I'll have room over here for other stuff, but I'm not really, like, placing yet. Because of his slingers, I kind of start eyeballing... I'll do it in red, screw it. This forest. Simply because I can hide in there, and then also, like, stretch out into the zone later when I want to. He puts his slingers there, and I immediately go like, alright, so I guess I'm going to hide in the woods each game, or for the entirety of the game with the Raiders. That's fine with me. I got blurred vision, so I can kind of not necessarily shut down all of his shooting, but I can at least limit it and force my opponent to come forward if he actually wants to shoot me with anything, because now he's going to shoot within 12. It's going to give me plenty of space to actually, like, either A, march charge him or charge him and do a bunch of damage. And stop him from, you know, continuously shooting. I don't want to be shot. Right now with this position, though, his threat range, even with his Conquest chant, is, like, about there where that dash line is. So I'm currently out of it. I'm, like, 1.5 to 2 inches out. I'm okay with that. He didn't, like, full march vision forward. What I think my opponent is quite, like, this is Bernie, who I'm playing. He's kind of learning, like, full sending it is not necessarily the way to go, and has been showing restraint. Because we've talked where he's, like, he'll get gummed up with his slingers, and then his slingers will be out of position, the slingers will just, like, get charged and killed, or march charged, or his slingers will board deny, but he doesn't have enough cards, so then his opponent just gets to free activate those last, like, 2 or 3 cards, but then just, like, run up in front of him, and then next turn, win or lose the roll off, he's just getting his slingers curled. So he's showing restraint right now, what I really appreciate. He's also, like, threat projecting, like, I can't cross that orange line without getting shot currently. Next turn he's gonna have more stuff, and he can, like, push that forward more, so that he can, like, start getting shots into me, so I'm gonna have to start figuring that out. Yeah, that's kind of it. Let's go to turn 2. Here's turn 2. A bunch of stuff happened. Okay, so, things that come on. I'll do it in orange. Boars, Trolls and Blooded, Trolls, more Boars, Vogny Lord, and Boars. That's it. That's for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good stuff. For my opponent, I believe he gets all his mediums, so he has, you can kind of see back here his cock. One of his stands is missing. He'll throw it on next turn. It's fine. He gets his Veterans and his Braves. More Braves, Vets, and Warbred. Alright, so let's talk about the positioning here. So, first things first is I kind of throw my Stalkers much lower in my stack down at the bottom. I do check, like, I know, what's going on here? So, like, it's my first 3 character cards. I know he can't shoot me. I put my Raiders at the very bottom of my deck simply because I want to see how aggressive my opponent gets. And Raiders going first isn't necessarily going to get me anywhere. But Raiders going last will allow me to get the Shaman into a position where I can cast Blurred Visions on him next turn without, while staying safe. So I kind of... That's kind of what's going on here with, like, my card activation. And then it's, like, characters, trolls, goater, stalkers, raiders. That's my whole thing. My opponent, on the other hand, he starts applying pressure here. He's put his veterans and his warbred over on this side. I don't mind that. He's making a play for that zone and trying to stretch me out. I'm okay. I'm looking to make this Horns of the Bull play anyway, and so I hum and haw for a little bit. So I know that I'm going to put trolls here. I've already decided that last turn. The other idea was I was going to put another unit of trolls where these goater are. But I decided against that simply because the trolls will have the staying power that I can just kind of leave them on their own. So I decided, you know what? I'll put a unit of goater between the wall or the edge of the table and the raiders, and then the trolls, and then I'll just have a third, not a third, but you know, my second unit of goater just right behind the stalkers. And this whole play here, the thing that's doing is that if my opponent enters into me, either into these trolls or these raiders, the goater should be able to, with maybe some finagling or whatever, get into the flanks of whatever comes into me, wipe those out. Trolls and raiders can push forward, or the goater can push forward after that. It'll be, you know, it's kind of, I'm setting up a trap right here. On the right side, trolls and goater, I'm literally just playing like chicken with my opponent right here between this zone. His warbred are going to auto in on an 11. He's got vets that are pretty durable. I have a blooded with 1,000,000 attacks and trolls and goater. Like, I can probably, like, whoever gets the alpha here will win the peace trade kind of thing. So we're just kind of eyeballing each other and like banking for position. His brave positioning here with the slingers, it's kind of split, to be honest. I don't know if he wants to go that way or that way. He's kind of splitting, but like right now he has a very weak center, while my center is very strong, or stronger at least, because I'm running like both stalkers and a goater pack, so I can kind of like force the issue in the middle, separating his two sides and then collapse ideally. This brave unit here is to try and like support that center, but he does move his stalkers up because like nothing's in range and I'm just reinforcing stuff and I outcard him, and he just kind of moves his stalkers up in, or sorry, not his stalkers, his slingers up in a position that he can like shoot me for free later. I go, yeah, okay, that's fine. Like, I really don't care. I'm trying to mitigate as much damage as possible. So we're kind of playing footsies here, getting into a better position, like what we're eyeing for. I'm not 100%. I'll just circle in purple. Like this brave unit, I'm just like, I don't know. His issue is that he has a lot of space this way and less space this way, but he puts 4 units in that tiny area, what doesn't really allow them to like finagle around. While as you can see, I've done the opposite. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units in, I guess we'll say, the black arrow side, and I have 2 units compared to his 4 units on the pink arrow side. So he's not like using his board space appropriately to like set up trades and such. And just clean up some line work here. There we go. And I'm just kind of like maximizing my premium property space here of like what is my front line and like what is separating me. Like I have to maneuver around this building, and I've kind of done that successfully while I feel like he's getting stuck on himself because of his building and he's not spacing stuff out properly. We talked about this after the game, and I think he should have. I do agree. He probably like could have got away with just like the slingers and. I'll do it blue, it'll be easier to see. The slingers and the vets over here, and just threatened that zone so I could never take it without putting work into them, and just kind of hung back while putting more work on this side of the table and then swung into me that way. It would have given him more space to play around because right now he's like really too cramped. And that causes, as you can see, veterans coming up with braves right behind and slingers kind of walking up a little bit with Chosen a Conquest behind. So like Chosen a Conquest right now, they can't just charge clash a thing. They have to march charge clash because the only thing they can actually see is the Goater Beast Pack, who are super far away. I'm outside of 15 from them, so they're not going to get a march charge clash on me. So he's got to do like a march charge. I have no reason to go into him. I have kind of the range superiority with Blurred Vision, Hoarfrost, and my double stalkers, and using the terrain more in my advantage than my opponent right now. So I'm in a better spot. So he's got to now spend time unjamming himself, and you'll see on turn 3 kind of like where that goes. No one scores. he's starting to like run out of cards, and I start, you know, moving up my stalkers. I just move my stalkers up in a position that they can just like walk and shoot. I'll do it in orange, like these vets, these slingers, these braves, at my own discretion and free will, while still maintaining this hill as a defensive thing for line of sight to keep myself safe. While also with these Goater Beastback, my opponent doesn't really want to come in and play footsies, and because he has a weak center, they can just like downtown and play slingers and just fuck him up. Like that was also another plan, because like if I do that, I got Trolls and Goater over here to support that side, and I also have Bear Sharks who are going to be counter deployed to the Apex, and I have another unit of Goater who can either support, I'll do it in yellow, like the left side or the right side depending on what's happening. Yeah, that's turn 2. A lot of positioning. I think my opponent's kind of getting stuck. I think I'm providing enough threats that he has to be careful. Let's see what happens in turn 3. Here's turn 3. Okay, so we get Goater Beastback, Bear Sharks. They're like my last 2 cards. We're not going to talk about them. Well, we are, but later. My opponent gets the Apex, and that's it. Yeah, Apex and Queen. Apex was left at home, so it's just Queen on a monster base. You have to deal with it. Okay, so things that go first. I win the roll-off, and I cast a magic spell. These slingers, I cast Blurred Vision, so they're range 12, and my opponent's like, wow, that's really nice. I'm like, yeah, no problem. He activates his Braves, who run up to this position right here. I then activate my Stalkers, this one that's missing a stand. Don't worry, we'll talk about it. They do what they're supposed to do, shoot the Braves in the flank. I get trigger Opportunist. I get a bunch of hits. I kill a stand and deal a couple wounds. It's like, yay, we'll take the value. I think he then triggers... Does he trigger Braves number 2? I think he triggers Blades number 2, and he, after seeing that, he positions himself like being wary of my other Stalker unit, who activates later on, but they obviously move up. I take shots at them, do some damage, not as much as the uncolored Braves. It's fine. One of his last cards is Slingers, and he just kind of like shoots my Stalkers and kills off a stand, and that's kind of what those Slingers do. Let's get into the left side, because that's the more interesting one. Like, the middle's kind of done at this point. I'll come back to the Goater in the middle and explain what I was doing there, but that's kind of the opening salvo. Then we get into the veterans. So he decides to move up his veterans. He like reforms and march this way because he's realizing he doesn't really want to get stuck behind his Braves at this point. I probably would have led with the veterans. That might have caused a couple other issues, but I'm personally fine. They're a little more durable than the Braves. The Braves are causing him to kind of try and like reform out of that hole he's trapped him, so it's like wasting actions. I move my Trolls up in response. Like, veterans aren't going to get to me. Braves aren't going to get to me. I just move the Trolls up because it's a safe move right now. He then triggers his other veterans, realizing that I'm just kind of like moving stuff after like making all the safe moves and don't really want to commit to anything. You know, he moves his other veterans here, getting onto the zone. Realizing, you know, like these Braves have gone, these vets have gone. I shoot up with my Trolls and like get that zone and score it out. Yay! This is to kind of try and force the Warbred to like go for it, because if they kind of come into me and hit me, then, you know, like the Goater Beastback can kind of like get the flank on them and like do a ton of damage, and that'll be really mean to him. He doesn't fall for it. He just kind of like moves up, but he's still outside. I'll do it in, let's do it in black. He's like, I don't know, like 14 inches away from my Goater still, so he can't just charge my Goater with his Warbred. But he has a good chance of probably getting into the Trolls. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to recheck it, but he's probably fine, to be honest, to get into the Trolls. This results, I'll do it in this like rouge color, with me deploying these additional Goater on this side, just in case he starts winning the trade. I have follow-up Goater to try and like, okay, Warbred coming to the Trolls, kill the Trolls. Goater go into Warbred, kill them. Goater go into Veterans, kill them. Okay, you know, we've taken that zone. Braves come in. Okay, well, Braves kill Goater. Goater kill Braves. All right, there's a peace trade. I'm up. I'm the last one standing. I'll score the zone. Good. Right side, done. I'm not worried. These 3 regiments should be able to take care of that. I'm scoring that zone. I'm happy. Cool. Off to the left side. In the left side, I think this is a blunder. My opponent, he activates his tier 3 chant with Conquest. He does a double march and a charge into the Raiders. The Raiders are, how do I say this? Outside of the forest. Like, they're in the forest for shooting, but outside the forest to prevent impact. So I get a bunch of impact attacks. I'll do it in, like, Rouge or whatever. These guys are in a 4 block, if you remember. One of the stands is down to like 4 health. I activate them. I do a reform clash. I roll like a 6, so I like take a wound and lose a stand. And then that's why there's only like 2 stands left in the Shaman, who do like a bunch of damage to the Chosen Conquest, who are now in. Just clean this up. This position right here. So we do a bunch of damage to them, but nothing super great. My opponent decides to hold his Blessed. I'm like, that's fine. I think I finagle around now. We're getting to like the Stalker shooting and stuff. I run these, because he's slung with his Slingers into my Stalkers. I shoot up like my next Goater Beast Pack here, because I'm going to make a play to try and like March Charge and kill these Slingers off with my Goater. It's fine with me. That'll like crush his middle, because I'm kind of like, I think his Apex Queen comes on at some point, fills up that spot. So I'm still looking for stuff. Then we get into the Goater, who from the Bear Shark position just side charge into the flank of the Chosen. Brutal, Clash, Trample, with the side attacks of, you know, rerolling morale. Does a ton of damage, wipes them out, gets past the Blessed. I am really happy. He like rolled his first roll and got like 1 success from like 16 attacks, and then like rolled his second low and only got like 5 successes, and was like, okay, cool, you know, take a bunch of damage. Stuff was dying. Morale kicks in, kills them all. I'm like, ooh, so they're dead. Those Chosen kind of got donated. I think he could have held them back longer. I don't think the Slingers need to move up. Like, he moved his Slingers up just to try and like, oh, I'll get you next turn. I'm like, okay, but you could have probably just jumped them with your Chosen and sat behind and waited for some more. Like, I think he pulled the trigger a turn too early and wasn't in the position to really commit his forces, and right now I'm kind of just punishing him being out of position. That's fine with me. My final move, I'll do it in this Rouge. Bear Sharks run up. Bear Sharks, they're really just looking to like get into the Slingers or get into the Apex, depending on what happens, because the Apex will like, you know, charge over the Slingers, get into the Goater, kill the Goater. Bear Sharks and then counter charge into the Apex, kill them. Stalkers can, you know, shoot into the Apex, kill it, and then I can keep pushing my advance over there. But right now, I am scoring the middle zone and the right zone, and my opponent is scoring the left zone. And we're going to kind of see how the peace trade falls. I'm up on cards. My opponent's lost one of his big power pieces. Let's go into turn 4. Okay, here's turn 4. Some good things happened, and some bad things happened. I believe my opponent was a roll-off. He like shoots his Braves out into the Goater. Does like 4 wounds. Goater then go, and I'm like, oh, you know what? You're already my side. Slingers aren't going to get into me. I'll have these Goater go. These Goater will charge your veterans. I roll a 1 and fail the charge, and they just move up an inch. And I'm like, fuck yeah, that's amazing. Who else went? I think veterans go now. They like march charge in to the trolls or something, and like they do a bunch of damage, and the trolls are left on 2 health there. not doing really well. I'm like, oh, that's sweet. Okay. Or maybe, I don't think the veterans went. I think it was his other Braves went, and his other Braves, yes, sorry, they'll do that eventually, don't worry. The other Braves who are over here went, and they charge into the flank of these Goater to like pin me down, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, what, like, sure, man. Cool. You I forget if he rolls it or not, but anyway, he like either pins me and does some impact damage, but I know for sure like you can kind of see these Slingers just shoot into my Goater at some point. That's fine. Then I go for my second Goater. I think it's these Goater who just rally, or not rally, they reform. I fail the roll. I take another rune, one of the Goater die. I do a bunch of I clash, do a bunch of damage, I trample, kill off the Braves. That frees up the Bear Sharks, who eventually just, near the end of the turn, as you can see, you know, they'll charge across into the Slingers. My opponent kind of makes a bad. He needs a 4 to get in with his Apex, rolls a 3. charges into the slingers, breaks the slingers and his apex. The slingers rally, then shoot into the Goater, would deal a bunch of damage. I think they deal like 4 damage. He didn't roll very well. I think he should just aim and shot. I don't know why he rallied. And then my Bear Sharks just march charge into the slingers, kill a stand. Apex is still stuck behind the slingers. It's a little rough for the Apex there. Kind of stuck behind these slingers. I'm happy with it. That's fine. Veterans, like I said, charge into the trolls, do a bunch of damage, leave them on 2 health. Trolls rally, clash. Raiders with the shaman, cast Hoarfrost, charge into the veterans. Slingers shoot the veterans in the side. Other slingers shoot the veterans in the slide. Do a bunch of damage. He's left on like 10 or 8 health left. Still a threat, don't get me wrong, but there's enough things in there that should be able to kill it before it really gets going. Goater over here, reform, clash into the Braves, just kill them off. They clash, they ignore the shields. He's saving on like 2s or something. Loses a bunch of Braves, gets cleaved. It's really rough. Trample kicks in, kills. Slingers, as I said before, sling into my Goater, do a bunch of damage, but they're still around. I purposely kill off this last stand here because I can. Let me just clean up that a little bit. So I'm just gonna put a line through that guy. Ooh, that's not very good. Line through that guy. The reason why I do that is because I can still see that guy. And you know what? Next turn I'm just gonna charge in. Over on the right side. At some point, the trolls just charge into the vets, do a bunch of damage, leave the vets on like 1 or 2 health left. Then the Warbred come in, side charge, kill a bunch of the trolls, I think they leave the trolls on like 2 life. The vets then activate Rally Clash, kill off my trolls. I forgot about the die fighting, probably would have died fighting to the 4-6 veteran unit and killed them, but that's okay. What do these Goater do? I think they fail, to be honest. I think I needed a 5 to get in to these guys, and I failed. I rolled like a 1 or a 2, whatever. Like, I just failed. I walk up, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, fuck it. Like, I still have 2 Goater beasts back, like Warbred have to turn around to fight the other guys. Those guys, like, or they have to come up the zone because those Goater are gonna kill those veterans. Like, I'm still up. It's okay. He's gonna score that zone, which is fine. I'm gonna score the middle zone, which is also fine, and then I'm gonna score the left zone. So I'm really happy about that. Still, scoring really well there. But the big things in here, I'll just do it in black. Middle, kind of wide open. Left side collapsing slowly. We'll see how that turns out. I think there's a little bit of fight left in the left side. The right side could rally if he gets the proper charges and kind of unstucks himself and kind of wipes off some Goater, but the Goater are gonna like auto in a bunch of stuff in a moment here. So let's go to turn 5. Here's turn 5. Okay, I start this thing amazingly off with, surprise, surprise, the Goater. The Goater charge into the ass of the, Warbred. Kills them all. I was like, impact, clash, trample, they're dead. Veterans go. I think these veterans go, to be honest. We'll just do 1, 2, 3. There you go. I think they kill the trolls, so they like kill these trolls. He puts 2 stands into those trolls. I'll put a red box here. They like rally clash after last turn, it's fine. And then he puts his chieftain into these raiders and kills off a stand. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I think I have second Goater go. Second Goater. These guys just charge into the slingers and kill them. I'm like, yeah, get out of here. No one needs your love. They're dead. Then he has his second veterans go. His second veterans, I'll just do it in purple. Just charge right into these Goater. And then they kill 1 stand of Goater from the unit that just charged the Warbred. And then I think I need like a 4, and I get the 4, and I just charge. Did I charge? No, I think I just march charge him because he has 2 health left in the impacts and tramples. I just march charge in and kill it. That secures me my zone and cleans up the entire right side, so I'm really good there. The middle is gone with the slingers. For the veterans, I have these stalkers just shoot into the flank. I have the Hoarfrost and Raiders attack the veterans. That kills them all off. As per the fight over here with the Bear Sharks and Slingers, the Slingers learned how to pick up a rock and destroy my entire evolutionary chain with the power of a rock. And my Bear Sharks Oh, what the hell did they do? They clash back. They're fighting in water. I didn't kill another stand. They were injured. The queen heals up a stand, and I, eventually kill them with bear sharks. And the bear sharks are down to like 2 stands kind of thing. Apex goes in, kills off the bear sharks. Boars just charge into the apex, deal 8 wounds. It's on like half health. And at this point, my opponent calls it. I'm scoring all 3 zones. No, I'm scoring 2 zones. And then next turn, I would just turn around and score this zone, to be honest. I think I might have counted that by accident this turn. It's bad on me. But yeah, my opponent basically, he calls it at this point, and that's it. That's the game. Let's go to the score, and then I'll talk about it. Here's the score. Bernie scored 2 points. I scored 31 points. So good on me. I think, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this turn right here, I think I should not have scored the middle. I think I did by accident, but that's bad on me. So anyway, let's talk about the game. I think Bernie failed to set up traps and then commit appropriate forces to each side of the table. I think he had the good idea, but I think he needed to swap his strength of like his work units either more to one side. We were kind of talking about it where he should have put his Warpred, Apex, and Chosen a Conquest all on one side, and then he kind of set up his queen, his queen and Apex on one side, like on the left, because he wanted to get into me and sweep across, but he hadn't broken through yet. And I think he really just needed to have the left side forces on the right, and he really just needed like the Chosen a Conquest and the Slingers, or the veteran, like the big chieftain veteran block and the Slingers on the left, just because of like premium table space, what is your front line, and how to get around those buildings. Like I feel like I got around those buildings really well. I only committed three regiments to the smaller side, while I committed a majority of my force through the left side, but I also had like a weak center with the stalkers, but I had time to collapse onto myself, while Bernie kind of spread out a lot over his more wider side, and he like crunched up a lot on his, like, I guess shorter side. That's what I'm calling them. I could here, hold on. Table. There we go. We'll just go here. So like, we'll just draw it out. It's fine. We'll just do it in red. So like, there and there. He's got a lot of room here. He's not got a lot of room there. He was too crunched up here. I think that was a big problem. He had too many things over there, and he needed to have more of that stuff over here. And then he could have pushed out, done 2/3 of the table, had a better game, potentially win the game that way. But like once he started putting more things on the left side and getting really crunched, I had more space and more time and more like better positioning to bring forces to bear this way onto him, to kind of hit him in 2 sides while he's trying to get out of this little area. So that was going to be more in my advantage in that way. Especially with the shooting in the middle, just kind of like popping shots at him and weakening stuff. Like I do enjoy Horns of the Vole. Like that's do that. That's what this list is doing. It wants, there's Horns of the Bull. While his list wants to run a declined flank, and I think he should have ran it like that. So yes, I'm still going to hit him. As the game progresses, I'm going to bring this side more this way. I am going to have a fight over here that I'll potentially win, but then I got to swing more stuff over here. It's going to take longer. What allows him to kind of clean up this side and go like so. And what you have is you kind of have a split down the middle by playing your declined flank and your Horns of the Bull. I want him to come into the middle so I can surround and eat him. He wants to have a hard fist side over here hitting me and then like taking over this and pushing outwards. So I think one of the issues was the fundamental like deployment of this game, where he tried to hit me on my strong side. That's hard to see here. Let me do this one. So yeah, there we go. He tried to hit me on my strong side. I had strength to hit back. I had additional strength in the middle. And then he was weak over here, and I was strong, so I kind of beat that out, beat his middle out, and then we grinded here until I eventually won that, because I started to bring more force from the middle over to that side. And that's fundamentally it. The Chosen a Conquest, he should have held it one more turn. It was a donation, and I don't think he realized how brutal Goat or Beastpack are, and that kind of sucked. But yeah, overall, really good game. This game is, I don't know, it might come out before or after the May 12th update. I was talking to Bernie, he's like, oh, we're just kind of playing because May 12th is going to be coming up, like this is recorded on the 4th. Yeah, that's fair. I still try and get as much out of each game as I can. Goater, yeah, they're getting nerfed. Like, it's pretty obvious. They're so overtuned for what their point costs at. It's crazy. So yeah, hope everyone enjoyed this game. Hope you guys enjoyed the battle report. If you want to talk to me, I guess, more personally, you can join the BonkTable Discord in the description below. You can bother Cass on her Twitter, and you can listen to the podcast. Hope everyone has a great day. Bye!